Hi, this is Roxana from Mavitiva, and I'm going to tell you a little story. When I was younger, I believed in people taking their kids out to a restaurant as early as they possibly could. I still believe that to this day. I can tell you that when my daughter was born, by the time she was 3 months old, I went to a restaurant with all my friends and the family, and she was in the restaurant with us. Um, the reason why I believe in that is because I believe kids should be exposed to acting like normal human beings in public as early as possible. I also believe that women have every right to feed their babies however they see fit, whenever they see fit. And I remember when I was a lot younger, I was not even married yet. And this lady was in church and her little baby started acting up. And right in front of everybody, she went cluck, opened her shirt, put the baby in there, kept on listening to the service. The funny thing is, nobody looked at her. I mean, we all noticed that she was breastfeeding, but nobody actually looked at her. And I thought that said a lot about not only my country, but the people that were in the church, that we were all interested in listening to what was going on in front and not at what one person was doing. More importantly, that was a natural thing, and it still is, so I don't see why there's such a big problem with it now. Men have no problem looking at breasts on magazines, but they have a problem with a woman feeding a baby? I mean, really? That makes no sense. Now, having said that, I'm going to tell you a story about what happened today, so happens. Now, as you all know, most of the time I'm stuck at home because I'm taking care of my mom, and I am beginning to figure out how to set everything up so that we can have other people here so that she can be taken care of all the time, so that she can get to know other people, etc. And part of that process included having somebody take care of my mother certain hours of the day so that I can take a break as well. So my daughter invited me to lunch today. Now, we went to a particular restaurant in the Orlando area, and I am one of those people that has no idea what's going on in the rest of the tables around her, usually, because I'm too hungry to give a care about what other people are doing. If I notice what you're doing in a restaurant, you have to be either really loud or you just get sick in the middle of the thing. Something happens, something really loud has to happen for me to notice, to be honest with you. I First of all, I don't mind other people's businesses because I don't care. And number two, I just think the whole process of going out with your friends should be about you and your friends and not about anybody else around you. My daughter and I like to watch a show called What Would You Do? And I always tell her I would fail this completely because I wouldn't even hear what other people are saying unless they're very loud. And that's just the way I am. When we went to eat today, I did notice as we were walking to our table that there was a very big table next to us with a bunch of people. I originally did not notice who the people were or anything. I just noticed a big table. It turns out it was three adult women with their children. I don't know if they had a shopping date because it's close to a mall, and then they went and had their food, or what was going on, and I didn't care either. Now, as far as the kids being loud, it doesn't bother me if people are making noise on the table, because unless you're going to a fancy restaurant for an evening with your husband, you really don't care if restaurants are loud, especially family-oriented kind of restaurants, and that's part of the thing. Excuse me. So the thing about it is that I guess they were getting ready to move on, and the kids were getting a little restless. And two of the children, one that looked to be like 4 or 5 years old, and the other one looked to be like maybe 2 years old, if that much, got off their table and started playing tug of war next to my table. And the drink was set up on my table for me. My soda was set up for my table. Yes, I made the mistake of having a soda after 10 days of no soda. That's another story. But the thing was, they were moving and they almost took out my drink while they were playing. So I went ahead and moved my drink a little bit. But then I noticed that the older kid stopped playing with the little kid, took another girl out of the table, and started playing tug of war with her. And even though I moved my cup somewhere where they couldn't reach it, they almost toppled it again. Now, it doesn't bother me that the kids did that because they're kids. What bothered me was that the three adult women that were on the table were too busy taking care of whatever they were taking care of, which could have been the bill, could have been that they were just talking to each other. I don't care. But they were too busy to go ahead and corral their kids. Now, this is my message to every woman that takes out their kids, wherever you take out your kids. I don't have a problem with your kid if he has a medical issue or a psychological issue. If I see you trying, of course I'm going to understand, because I'm not that kind of person either. When you don't pay any attention to your kids and your kids are jumping all over the table, jumping all over the seats, jumping all over other people's tables, that's a problem. Excuse me. It is your job to teach your kids how to behave in a restaurant. It's not my job. It's not anybody's job but yours. If you want to take your kids out when they're young so they get used to behaving when they're out, then exactly why are you letting them bother other people while you're out? Because the same right that you have to take your kids out and have a good time and enjoy yourself with your other friends and whatnot, the same right I have as a woman that you don't know me and you have no idea what my history is, but that is the first time I go out in a very long time with my daughter just to hang out. We haven't done that in forever, and we were used to doing this very regularly. And we're trying to enjoy ourselves. And in fact, I decided to ignore them, and I kept on talking to my daughter. And because they were leaving at that time also, it didn't bother me as much. But the thing about it is, the same right you have to enjoy yourself and teach your kids how to behave outside their house, it's the same right that everybody else has to have a good time. So what I'm asking you as a mother is pay attention to your kids. It doesn't take a lot of effort to tell them, can you sit back down? And I know some kids are not going to listen. And I know some kids have learning disabilities and mental issues, and they might not listen. At least if you pay attention and you have an effort, most of us won't mind as much. When you don't pay attention, and again, there were three adult women on the table, and none of them were paying any attention to the kids running all over the table, that's when it gets annoying. So if most of you, and I've seen the videos on YouTube, most of you mind very much when people tell your kids how to behave. Well, if you want to avoid that, tell your kids how to behave. And unless you have a real issue, pay attention to your kids. And even if you have a real issue, pay attention to your kids. It's simple. We all live in the same planet. We all have the same rights and responsibilities. We can all do this if we all just pay attention. So this is Roxana from Avid Diva, and I would love to hear your comments below. Thank you.